The Enchanted Violin. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, there lived a young woman named Elara. She was known for her kindness and a gift that few in the village understood: the ability to play the violin like no other. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Elara would sit by her window, and her music would fill the air, enchanting all who heard it. But there was something extraordinary about Elara's violin. It had been passed down through generations of her family, each member adding a unique charm to its strings. Some said it was blessed by forest spirits. Others believed it was cursed. But Elara only knew it as a companion that spoke to her in melodies. One autumn evening, a stranger arrived in the village. He was tall, with piercing green eyes and a mysterious air about him. He introduced himself as Lysander, a traveling musician. The villagers welcomed him warmly, eager to hear his tales and songs. Lysander quickly became the center of attention with his golden harp. His music was beautiful, but it lacked the soul that Elara's violin held. Jealousy stirred within Lysander as he noticed how the villagers admired Elara's music, so he devised a plan. One night, after the village had fallen asleep, Lysander crept to Elara's cottage. He intended to steal the violin, believing that with it he could become the greatest musician in the land. But as he reached for the instrument, the strings began to hum softly, a melody that grew louder and more haunting with each note. Lysander froze as the room filled with the sound of music, Elara's music. The violin played itself, telling a story of love, loss, and magic. Lysander saw visions of Elara's ancestors, each pouring their heart and soul into the violin, creating a bond that no one could break. Terrified, Lysander tried to flee, but the violin's song followed him, growing louder and more intense. The spirits of the forest, awakened by the music, surrounded Lysander, their voices mingling with the notes. They whispered warnings, telling him that the violin was not a mere instrument, but a living entity bound to Elara's family by ancient magic. Realizing his mistake, Lysander fell to his knees, begging for forgiveness. The music softened, and the spirits vanished, leaving only the gentle hum of the violin. Lysander, humbled and grateful to be spared, left the village the next morning, never to return. Elara awoke to find her violin glowing softly, the air still tinged with the remnants of the night's magic. She knew something had happened, but the violin remained silent on the matter, as it always did. From that day on, Elara's music was even more enchanting, filled with a depth that spoke of unseen worlds and ancient powers. The villagers continued to listen in awe, unaware of the night when the violin had played its own story, protecting its true master. And so, the legend of the enchanted violin grew, but only Elara knew the truth, that some bonds, like the music she played, were unbreakable.